Okay, welcome back. Today is gonna be a leg day. We're gonna learn the fundamental movements of the lower body that Pete's gonna end up doing for the rest of his life. And we'll build on those as we go. So the first thing we're gonna learn is just the squat. So first movement's gonna be at the hip, second at the knee, third at the ankle. You wanna sit your butt back. Keep the weight backwards in the heels. Stand back up. So your knees should track in line with your feet, but not shoot over your feet. Hips stay back.
This is what I did on day one, right?
That's what you did on day one. We're gonna drill this.
Back, right?
Yeah.
Just too
so
wide?
you should no. So you should be able, when you sit back in your squat, you should be able to pull your toes up off the floor.
Dang.
Yeah. Yep.
So what are the weights for?
Yeah, we'll get to those. We'll get to those.
Okay, how many?
Well, let's do 15 of them with just the body. We'll see. There you go. There you go. Stick the butt out. There you go, Pete. That's it right there.
How many do you know?
That's it right there.
15?
50.
Now, can I keep my hands here? Or
Yeah.
keep my hands
Yeah.
up?
Wherever's comfortable. As you get better, more comfortable, we'll start bringing those hands in closer to the body.
Yeah, I like this balance.
Yep. That'll.
Because
Right.
it allows my toes to come up.
Right.
You can feel that burn.
Yep.
I don't know how many I got.
That's good. Let's also do 15 of these.
So, back.
Yep.
How far down?
About right there and then back up. So drop it just below your knees and then come back up.
Okay, so you want it here or here?
That doesn't really matter so much. Whatever's comfortable for you to say for now, as long as you can keep everything else where it needs to be.
Now, do I stretch my back all the way? And I come up? Do I lock
Stand up all the way. Yeah, stand
Do
up
I
all the way
lock my
straight.
hip?
Yes, just squeeze the glute, squeeze your butt. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze your butt.
Get it. Oh, okay.
There you go. Chest up. Shoulders back. Working your, what we call the T-spine, the upper back, all the way down the back side of your body.
Okay.
So Pete's working the posterior kinetic chain. So basically he's working everything from his shoulders all the way down his legs on the back side. So what we call the T-spine, which is the shoulder, the lumbar spine, which is around the belly button, hip area, and then the upper leg, the lower leg.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling it right here.
Yep.
So day one, I ended up doing that. It was like, and I remember I didn't have any weight or anything, and my legs were already hurting the next day. So it doesn't seem that hard, right? It always seems easy the first 2 rounds, but once you get going, you start feeling it. I'm super excited about it. So
Okay, so now we're gonna move into the barbell. We're going to start off with a barbell squat, and then after we do a set there, we'll take a little bit of rest, we'll go into a barbell deadlift. So unless you're lifting, you're doing a squat for a competition of some kind that requires certain ranges, we're going to go as deep as we can into the squat without deviating from form. We're not going to break form at all, and where we're going to see most of the problem will be at the hips. So if my hands are square hips, you're standing, as you go down in the squat, what you don't want is the back of the hip to dip down. That puts a lot of stress on the lower back, potentially causing some big problems. So his range of Pete's squat, what it will be today compared to what it will be in 30, 60, 90 days will probably be different. First movement's at the hip. chest up.
How far down?
That's a good question. I will let you know where to stop. You don't want this part of your back to round. That's about the limit right there. That's about it right there. Keep on the heels. Breathe out. Yeah, looking good.
You want to lift my toes?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
If you can, great. But that's with a weight on it. We just want to make sure that you're setting the hips back and everything's going where it needs to be.
What's up, Ben?
Just walk forward. That's good.
Oh yeah, walk forward. So the thing with this is like you can't just drop your weight. You got to think about it. Okay.
There's a reason. If you drop straight down, you're going to shoot your knee straight out, and that's going to increase the shear force across the knee.
Okay. Cool.
The knee doesn't have a lot of room for mistakes. It's an easy joint to damage. So we're going to set our hips back. We're not going to let our knees shoot out in front of us. We're going to put most of the stress, ideally, in the hip joint.
Yes, and this is what's interesting, is that I'm not just lifting weights, I'm actually being educated. A lot of people don't know that. Being educated on how to lift. So I don't hurt myself, because this is a lifestyle, remember? This is a lifestyle, which means you gotta learn some things.
We're really gonna drill these forms. We're gonna keep going back between the squat and the deadlift. We're not gonna get real heavy with the weight on those today. We will get heavy, but we're gonna use some machines, something a little bit safer, until I feel comfortable that we've drilled these in enough that we can lift heavy weights safely. Because we lift tomorrow too. As you squat down, hips and knees, chest up, look in the mirror. From there, stand up. Then from here, bend forward, let the bar go down in front of me, back up. Still maintain this position, shoulders back, chest up. Go ahead and bend your knees out on the bar, just keep your back straight. You can bend it forward, just don't round it.
Straight,
yeah, that's good. That's good. Chest up, shoulders back, and then just stand. Now from here, you're gonna hip hinge, is what we call it. So you're just gonna move at the hip. Less on the knees, so don't let your knees move. Bend forward. Keep chest up, shoulders back. Keep that tight. Less knee. There you go.
Oh, okay, I get it.
There you go. Try not to hit the rack. Keep it above the rack. Shoulders back, keep that tight. Chest up.
Oh, wow.
Got 4 more in you. Nice and slow. 3, good control. Chest up, shoulders back.
Oh, man.
On the rack, keep the back.
Same thing?
Yeah, so when you get under this to lift off, I want the bar always lower than your shoulders.
Okay, so
Yeah, so when you go under it, when you stand up,
this is a little too high then, right?
that's like right on the edge right there. So it's safer to stand into your squat than to try to tiptoe the squat off the rack. Walk backwards. That's about good right there. Set back in the heels, same thing we've been doing. A little too far, a little too low. There you go, that's better. Keep the heels, take your butt out. There you go.
Wow.
Walk forward with the bar. Walk forward
was to do this by myself the first time, I really would mess my back up, bro.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance you
Because
mess your back.
your body automatically wants to catch the weight on your back, right? And your legs aren't used to the positioning to take the weight in the legs, because your mind wants to take it on your back, right? And so when you're bending your knees, your body's kind of not knowing what to do.
When you go to squat, shooting your knees out in front of you. Because most people quad dominant, which means we use the front part of our leg more than the back part of our leg. And so a lot of people that's just what they're normally used to doing. So when they go to squat, their knees will really shoot out. They'll load up the quads. They may even start to round the back because they're trying to compensate. And that's where you start to run into problems. We want a straight spine, and we're gonna move at the hips. And well, squatting, we're gonna move at the knees too, but we don't want them to shoot way out in front of us. We wanna keep the weight back in the hips.
So this is really like self-control, like you're controlling.
Yeah, absolutely, you have to.
You're controlling the weight, you're not letting the weight control you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Dude,
that is gonna be for the whole thing. You're not gonna let the weight control you, you have to control the weight.
I like that.
Bend at the knees, keep a good straight spine, stand up, keeping your chest up. And now you're just bending at the hips, just bend at the hips. Back up. Try to keep your shoulders back, don't let them fall forward. Lay down, back straight.
Dude, my body's shaking.
So I've learned something about Pete and his body. As we go through this first week, I'm gonna learn a lot about his strengths, his weaknesses, and the imbalances that he has. And right now, this guy he has what a lot of people have, and that's a weak lower back. So as he's going through these movements, he can not only feel that lower back, but I'm starting to see him give into it more than what he was at the beginning. Now that we've had a couple sets in, and he's starting to get tired.
Show him my weaknesses, right?
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna exploit those a little bit today. I'm gonna put him through some movements. We're gonna change what we're doing. We're gonna change the workout a little bit because of what I just saw. So I'm gonna show him some ways to strengthen that area, and it'll also help teach him form, reinforce the form that we're gonna do here. We'll do one more set of squats, Pete.
Yes, sir.
And then we're gonna. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and make Pete work on the weaker part of his back, his lower back, some weaker muscles. We're gonna work on strengthening that. So we're gonna put him through a movement pattern that will focus on that in an isometric type way, which will be the same thing kind of that we're doing out there with the deadlift. He's not gonna move his spine, he's gonna move his hip, but his spine is gonna have to hold him in form. So.
Yes, I have weaknesses. My core is weak right now. So he was telling me that the core isn't just in the front, it's also in the back. So we're gonna go ahead and get well rounded.
I gotta say something on that. So the core is not a real thing, right? Like we use it, but it's a buzzword. It's not, if you look in any kind of exercise book, it'll probably talk about the core. If you look in any science book, it won't be there because it's not a thing. But everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say the core. It's below the chest, just actually below the hips, just barely, all the way around the trunk of the body. These are the spinal muscles. These are muscles that hold and control the spine. So for all of these extra lifts that we're gonna do and for the rest of his life, Pete's gonna wanna have a strong core.
Now, here's what's really crazy. A lot of people, they want to come to the gym and start hitting. Now, I've been coming for 4 or 5 years, but if you're going to work with a trainer, like it's a consistency, but it's a progress, right? She don't just come in and start hitting it hard. Because I told John that I needed to do things right. So really what I'm doing is I'm relearning what I didn't learn. Like I really didn't know how to lift, so I was just kind of lifting. And I've noticed that like in 20 minutes, I'm getting more of a workout than when I would in an hour and a half, bro. Like
that's common.
Like last night when I was laying down, I was like, oh, got up this morning, I was like, oh, like, come on, you gotta be kidding me, man. And that's what I want, because that means my muscles are growing.
You've been moving lighter weight too. You've been moving lighter weight than what you were before.
Yeah.
We're just optimizing the movements. We're just making them more efficient. We're doing what the body needs to do to stress the muscles that we intend to stress.
Yeah. I'm getting that. I'm learning that.
So we're gonna do what we call a hip hinge. So I want him to keep his back nice and straight and just move with the hips. So this machine here has nothing out here to support me. I have these handles that I can hold on to, especially if I'm getting tired. Pete, if you get tired during the set, you need rest, you can hold on to these. But we're gonna engage the lower back here, and I'm gonna use my glutes, my butt muscles, to do the movement. I'm gonna bend forward, keeping my body straight, my spine straight, bend forward, bend forward. There'll be a point where it'll run around. That's the point where you stop and come back up. Bend forward, 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 bend forward. Up. Now what you do with your hands kind of depends. I want them out of the way. I kind of have a big head, so I use my hands to hold my big head up, and I go forward.
And your back is like straight. You see that, right?
Yep.
What?
Yep. It should be below your hips, but above your knees.
Okay.
So if the bar's not digging into your hip as you bend forward.
Cool. Right. So we want to go. Man, I'm feeling that in my legs.
Yeah. So we're talking about the parts of his body that are going to be holding his spine, his rectus spinae. They're a little weak, so we're going to work on them without them actually going through a movement. But I didn't tell you. What I didn't tell him was that the rest of the muscles on the back side, the glutes, the hamstrings, the muscles that are actually doing the movement, he's gonna feel those too.
Oh yeah, I feel that in my legs, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to go.
As far as you can without rounding this, that looks good there, and then come back up, pop back up.
How high up?
You'll just go up to where you're still on the pad.
Wow.
Almost there.
Oh man.
Hey, two more. Hey, two more. Come on, two more, Pete. One more. Keep it tight. One more. Stop.
Whoa. Woo. Yeah, bro. Okay, so you're probably saying, hey, P, that doesn't look hard, but I just came off that rack over there. So yeah, okay. So we're gonna do some more?
We're gonna do some more of these, but I'm gonna let that area rest for a little bit.
Thank you.
I got a couple of body weight exercises to target the glutes, and we'll get into those next, and we'll let that area kind of rest.
Bro, I felt that like right here. Right here, cause
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, so he said, you know, he felt it here, and he felt it back here, back of his legs, and I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. That being said, what he was working really was this back here. This up here he felt was because he was pushing against here, and we've already worked the front of the legs earlier today when we were out there on the squat rack. So what he's feeling is some residual from other things, not necessarily that was working. And so you'll feel that. You'll feel stuff that isn't what you're doing. So if you say, oh, I'm doing this exercise here, I'm holding a weight on this side of my body, I'm doing this exercise because I feel it here. Yeah, but it might not be working what you think it's working.
Dang, dude. Like, facts.
So next, we're gonna give him a little bit of rest on the lower back, so we're gonna beat that up as we go through the day. So next what we're gonna do is a one leg bridge. It's a great way to activate the hips. It'll do a little bit of stabilization through the midsection. It'll be a little harder probably than it looks, but I'm a professional. So we're gonna do a one leg bridge. So what he's gonna do, I'm gonna use this leg to do the movement. This leg's gonna be up in the air, out of the way. And what will tend to happen as you're doing this is you'll start to pump this leg to pump some momentum into the movement, and we don't really wanna do that. So one thing you can do is look at your knees and make sure that your feet, your upper leg bone, is parallel to itself, to the other one on the other side. And then arms out to the side to help with base. If you want a little bit more difficulty, you can put your hands above you. And then from here, we're gonna just push through our heel and raise our hips. Set them back down, nice and smooth. Push up, set them back down. We'll do one side at a time.
How far does the leg go?
About right there. You don't want it too close.
Yeah.
You about right there.
Now anybody can do this at home, right? Because you don't
Yeah.
need any.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you just want.
Yep.
So how far does it off the heel, right?
Yeah, off the heel.
All right.
Just go as high as you can with it and then back down.
Okay.
Nice and smooth.
Wow, dude. I'm feeling it all in this leg.
Yep.
And here.
Yep.
What? Bro, we got work to do. Because I'm not strong in this area at all. And I don't want any weaknesses, you know what I mean?
I got you. I got you. Almost there. 3 more.
Oh, really?
Good.
Okay, come on. My body wants to stop, dude.
One more. Don't do it. Fight it. One more. Push it. There it is. Good. Yes, good.
How many was that? Like 10?
It was 4.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, you gotta try this at home. This is ridiculous.
Go 15 aside.
Okay. This gets me excited, bro.
There you go. Good. Keep it in the heels.
2.
Nice and smooth.
Oh my.
Good.
So I'm kind of pushing that way, right?
3 more. I have no idea what you're talking about. 2 more. 1 more. 1 more. 1 more. 1 more. There it is.
What? You gotta be kidding me, dude. I see women doing this all the time like it's nothing.
Obviously, they're stronger than you in that area.
Here we go. Okay, look. Look at my face. You see this? This is sweat, man. From that. You kidding me?
You know, you
So
increase the risk of
we're going to the squat rack, but he was showing me something.
You're a strong dude.
He said, "Did you see the way this guy's doing the squats?" I was like, "Yeah." He says, "Do you see how his back's coming off the seat?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "You don't want to do that because that will put a lot of stress and pressure on your back. You want to catch it in your legs." So I'm watching, and I'm like, "Okay." So he's like, "So just make sure that you hold your back against the seat and use the weight from the seat into your legs. Don't lift your back because it'll mess your spine up after a while." And I was like, "I'm gonna record this so I don't forget." So I don't forget, but that's a lot of weight. You talking about? Hey, how heavy is that? What is it, like 300? What is that? 400?
I don't know.
This is 90, this is 180.
360?
Yeah.
So
Plus whatever the weight of the
you're
machine
talking
is.
360 pounds in your legs, and if you mess your back up, that's 360 pounds right on your back. That's crazy.
Well, and you may not feel this most of the time also. So you won't feel something going wrong with you if you're doing a movement unless it's involving a nerve, right? So unless it's a tear in the muscle, you're gonna feel that, right? Any kind of a separation from the bone, you're gonna feel that, right? With your discs, there's a nerve that goes through it and around it, but unless those discs hit those nerves, you may not even know it. You may be over time because of small things that you're missing in your movements, you may end up hurting yourself.
Now, I was out
over time.
I was out 4 weeks over that squat rack, what we were doing, because I didn't know what I was doing. And you just showed me the right way to do it. So when I was doing it, I was kind of scared thinking, man, I'm going to pinch my back like I did that one time when I was doing traps.
Yeah.
Right? But since he showed me how, I was confident and I was like, okay, so I didn't feel anything in my back at all.
Yeah. You may feel a tightness and a fatigue from the muscle, and that's okay. We want to be sure that we're working those muscles, right? But they're small muscles. We don't want to overstress them. Like with Pete, once we discovered that lower back is pretty weak, we went on to other things to try to build that up and show him a different way of doing this stuff. So we're gonna build and build and build and build as he goes. It's all about little progressions because we lift tomorrow too.
We lift tomorrow too. I like that. We lift tomorrow too. Dude, you should use that as a tag.
245.
245s?
Yeah. I do gym math.
Woo! Wait.
in your body. Humans are lower body dominant. Like we're heavier on the lower body. So when we're doing lower body exercises, that's where you're going to get big energy expenditures. You're gonna burn a lot of calories when we're working the lower body. So if you're working in the morning, it'd probably be a good idea to get a good breakfast in. Let's make sure we have some fuel so we don't end up hitting a low blood sugar issue where you're getting shakes and you're nauseous and you feel like fainting. We don't ever want to hit that because that cuts into your workout time, and now you're not getting the most out of your time in the gym. So
now I take protein shake, bro. I don't eat. I just take a protein shake.
Okay.
Should I be eating something?
Well, it depends on the amount of sugars, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on it. Sugar's not a bad thing. Glucose is not bad. Simple sugars are bad, like pies and cakes and cookies.
Natural,
you know,
beaver butt, natural flavors.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, something, unless a complex or a simple carb. A simple carb would be great if you're going right into the gym.
What do you mean by simple carb?
So to try to keep this simple, when you're if we have two kinds of rice, if we have a white rice and a brown rice, that brown rice is a more complex carbohydrate.
Okay.
So if you think of a rice being made of 3 different parts, the white rice, the simple carb, has one of those 3 parts. The brown rice, the complex carb, has all 3 parts. So depending on when you're going to use what, would depend on what kind of carbohydrate that you get. But fruits and vegetables are carbs. They're not bad.
Yeah.
Carbs aren't bad. We need them. That's our fuel. And we're going to need fuel for the workout.
Okay.
So with the leg press, it's going to simulate a squat without loading the spine. So for this specific machine, I'm going to unrack it. And I'm going to move my legs up on the board. And I want shoulder width or maybe a little bit wider. And then from here, I turn my toes out just a little bit, keep the weight in the heels, hold my butt onto the seat. And as I come down, keeping all the stress in my heels, going to about 90 degrees at the knees, and pressing it forward, okay? Not locking the knees out, keep the knees soft. If you lock the knees, there's another risk associated with that, but just know not to lock them. Bring them down nice and easy, about 90 degrees, press up through the heels, okay? Drop the sides, but you'll feel it. If you feel rounding in the hips, you've gone too far.
Okay.
Try to hit just about 90 degrees to the knee.
Right here?
That's about it right there, and back up. Good. Yeah, that's about it. I wouldn't go any lower than that.
Now, what a lot of people don't understand, bro, is that I used to run 5K for 90 days, so I couldn't work my legs. And I lost a lot of muscle mass. I took a big hit. So now, I gotta build them up again. And I didn't realize how weak my legs were until we started doing this. My calves are beast,
Yeah, they are.
but my calves don't carry all my weight.
2 more. And the thing about it is we gotta be sure, 1 more. We gotta be sure that we have good, strong legs. We can get good leg workouts. We're gonna burn a lot of calories, man. That's gonna help us get closer to your goal.
So the muscles use the most energy, right? Because the bigger muscle.
Bigger muscle group, they're gonna require more
I'm
energy.
sorry, bro, I can't see, but it's okay. I was telling John I don't get it. I don't get it. Like I mentally don't understand what's going on. So between the talking, moving the camera around, discussing, and working out, I'm maybe getting 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes of workout.
Right.
Okay, I don't understand it. This is what I don't understand. This is what I was telling John, I don't get it. Maybe you can help me out here. I come in here for an hour and a half every day, and I'm beasting out. What I mean by beasting out is like I'm getting it in. But I just did 40 minutes, and my legs are shaking, bro, and my core's hurting. And so I don't get it. I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, to be fair, it's not your job to get it, Pete. That's my job. That's my, you know, it's all up here for me.
I don't get
you
it.
got your special thing. He has his special thing. I have my special thing. You know, we can each do our own thing. My car breaks down. Maybe I could fix it, but it's probably a better idea to take it to a mechanic.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what I do.
So I'm just thinking, if this is happening in 40 minutes, sweet Jesus, we're gonna do this for 90 days, bro? Like, okay.
We'll see how stronger he's gonna get, how much endurance he's going to have, how he'll be able to come in here and hit these workouts, kill himself, and instead of being done in 30 or 40 minutes, you know, instead of being like, I can't, you know, why am I so tired? I'll be like, I understand now.
Yeah, and I hit a plateau, right? I was telling you that. I hit a plateau.
Yeah.
And so my body can only go so far. So it's not how long you work out, it's the right way of work. Like, okay, you know.
You can come into the gym for 90 minutes and you can wear yourself out, or you can come into the gym for 45 minutes and work yourself out. So right now, Train, Adapt, Perform, you can get yourself one of these shirts right now. We'll be putting up a link to this. You can contact me if you want one. Let me know your size, especially if you're working out. Send me a picture. Take a picture in the gym. Let me see that you're working out and that you're not just wearing this shirt around.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that I started working with John is because years ago he would give me advice. Never really paid him. Never really said it. He's just that guy that wants to help you, wants to see you progress. And so my son he was a little bit overweight. He went into wrestling. He needed to be stronger. And I said, hey, John, you've always helped me out. I need you to help me with my son. He said, give him to me for 30 days. I'll transform him. I was like, okay, 30 days. Yeah, it was a complete 180, man, 180. And I was very impressed. And I told him, you know, one day I'm going to get a hold of you and work me out, but I got to wait. And finally the time has come. So I'm like, okay, now it's time to help turn me into a beast, man. What I mean by that is I need help to be molded because I don't know what I'm doing. As a teacher, I teach people some things that they don't understand, they don't know, because I've given my life to it. In the same way John's given his life to it. So I understand and I trust him and I'm submitting to him and I'm doing everything he says, and I'm recording it to prove to you that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. So, all right. And that's TAP, right?
TAP.
Train,
Adapt, Perform.
Because what? Because we live tomorrow too?
Because we live tomorrow too.
So day 4, and yeah. So today I was working with John. He's with TAP, Train, Adapt, Perform, and we worked on lower back, a little bit of core, and a little bit of squat rack. And this is pretty interesting. So I had mentioned before on the video that you know, I come in for about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. I only worked out for 40 minutes today. And man, so you could be working out totally wrong. It's the difference between moving weight and actually lifting weight. And I realized that I've been moving weight. Now I've been seeing some results and I plateaued. And so I got a hold of John. I said, hey man, I need some help here. And just him tweaking certain movements and certain stances and how I was doing certain things, I really felt it in my body in a way that I had never felt it before. So yesterday I had did chest, and I woke up this morning and I hadn't been this sore in a long time. So I know it's working. So follow me as I follow Christ. This is the 90-day lifestyle challenge, and I'm doing 90 days, and I'm recording every single progress and every simple step, meals and everything. So you guys can follow me. So.